Hi, I'm Nate, and welcome to Homesteader Nate. So, a fair warning, this video all I'm going to be doing is talking. We got the soil samples back finally, so I thought we would do a little video, just make a quick little thing here, and tell you guys what the results of the soil samples were. So I've got it here on my phone. I'll read it to you guys. I'll try and throw it up on the screen so that way y'all can actually look through this and see what I'm talking about as I'm going through it. So we will start off with soil sample from location number 1. So we split it up into 4 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll try to throw up a picture of the property as well and circle the fields and number them 1, 2, 3, 4 so you guys can kind of get an idea of what we got going on here. So anyway, location number 1, all of this was for trying to grow Bermuda grass and ryegrass. Those are the 2 primary grasses that are in these pastures, and them are both good grasses. We want to keep them. They'll make excellent pasture. The ryegrass will be more of a winter spring, fall, winter, spring when it's cooler outside, and then the Bermuda will take over in the summertime when it's hot outside, right? So whenever we turned in the soil to get the soil sample done, we told them, hey, these are the grasses that we're trying to grow. Here we are. So they came up with a yield total of, I want to say 2 ton an acre, maybe, I think is what they put down just as a baseline estimate, and then they did the readings on the soil and told us how much nutrients we would need to add to bring the soil up to where we could get that out of the soil. Okay, so here we are with this. So the pH of location number 1, field number 1, was 7.1, which they said is good. We don't need to do anything at all about that. No lime required. The nitrogen is deficient and needs 71 pounds per acre. Phosphorus is 90% sufficient and we need 27 pounds per acre. Potassium is adequate. We don't need to add any of that, okay? So down here, they even go so far as to tell you what you need and how many pounds of it that you need. So down here towards the bottom on the left-hand side, it says ingredient, urea. We need 130 pounds of it. And then DAP, we need 60 pounds of that. DAP would be your phosphorus, okay? And there is nitrogen in DAP. You can actually see that on the side of it. It's got NPK. The N is 18, P is 46, K is 0. So that means that it has nitrogen and phosphorus. It's got 18% nitrogen, 46% phosphorus. That is out of 100 pounds, which means that if you had 100 pounds of that, you would have 18 pounds of nitrogen and then 46 pounds of phosphorus. So that is one of those things that will pretty much stay with the ground, okay? Unless you're cutting hay and removing it from the property. If you put DAP on the soil, that phosphorus will go into the soil. In theory, the grass will grow. You'll bush hog the grass. It'll rot back into the soil. It just continues back and forth like that. It doesn't really leave. The nitrogen, on the other hand, does. It'll leave and you won't have it anymore, right? So since I'm not trying to get these pastures to grow up waist high and be luscious and green and beautiful right now, because I'm not cutting hay on it, or I don't have a bunch of livestock out there, I'm just trying to amend the soil and get it ready for when we do have that. Okay, so I don't need the nitrogen right now. I just need the phosphorus, the potassium, and correct the pH if it needs be. So that being said, the only thing that I need to add is DAP. So for section number 1 over there, they're saying that we need 60 pounds of DAP per acre. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. And that's what we'll do. We won't add any urea to it. So we'll move on over here to sample number 2, location number 2. The pH of it is 7.1. So the pH is adequate, no lime required. The nitrogen is deficient. Go figure, 84 pounds an acre. Potassium, 78% sufficient. We need 44 pounds an acre, and potassium is adequate. If you're starting to notice a trend here, that's basically what it is. That's pretty much the trend of the property. So here on this field, it says that we need 95 pounds to the acre of DAP, 145 pounds of urea. Once again, we're not adding the urea. Urea is nitrogen. There is a little bit of nitrogen in DAP. I don't need the nitrogen right now. I just want to fix the soil with the other nutrients. We can add nitrogen later on whenever we're ready for it. If we put nitrogen on the field right now, we're just going to be wasting money. So that is for field number 2. All right, now we'll scroll on over here to field number 3. The pH of field number 3 is 6.5, which is still adequate. We don't need to add any lime. The nitrogen is deficient, go figure. This time it's 104 pounds deficient. And the phosphorus is 67% sufficient. We need to add 45 pounds to the acre. So out of that, if we were wanting to do what the soil sample calls for, we would need 185 pounds of urea per acre and 100 pounds of DAP per acre. So we'll go on with the DAP, of course. And then finally, location number 4, pH 6.8. It's adequate, no lime required. Nitrogen is deficient, need 83 pounds per acre. Phosphorus is 87% sufficient. We need 32 pounds per acre, which comes out to a total of 155 pounds per acre of urea and 70 pounds per acre of DAP. So that is what we would need for all that. So that being said, if you add all that together, get an average of it, you need roughly, as an average, 85 pounds per acre of DAP out here. We've got about 30 acres that we need to do. So I will call the local co-op basically and tell them, hey, you know, I've got 30 acres that I need fertilized and I want 85 pounds per acre of DAP applied, and I will give them, I'm gonna send them an overhead view of the property circled out, you know, hey, these are the places that I need it, whatever. They'll come out here in a spreader truck, drive right on through the gate, and they'll go out there and spread it all. You know, we cleared the pond dam, so that way they'd be able to drive across there and get back to that other field up there in the back. Then in the fall, this coming fall, I'm gonna do soil samples again. Now I don't have to, they told me to do it once every 3 years, especially since I'm not doing any production out here. I really don't need to do the soil sample, but I'm just curious. I want to see how much that actually fixed the soil, you know. It's not super expensive. I mean, I can do the soil samples, all 4 of them, for 40 bucks, you know, and just for my own curiosity's sake, I want to see what it did, you know. If I apply that much DAP, you know, in that field that needs 100 pounds, do I only have to add 20 now, or am I still gonna need 40? You know, did it absorb all of it or most of it, or only some of it, or did all of it run off into the pond? You know, I don't know. I'm curious. I've never done this before, and I think this would be a good little learning lesson for me and for you guys as well, because then if you've ever been curious, maybe you've got some pastures yourself and you're kind of wanting to know the same thing, well then here, maybe this will help you decide what your best avenue is. We're not going to till this in. We're going to surface broadcast it, and we're going to leave it. The rain will help it seep down into the ground. Hopefully when we spread it afterward, we get us a nice soaking rain and not a really hard rain that just washes most of it off. I don't know. So we'll see how that goes and play it by ear. So I will I'll call the fertilizer company, talk this over with them, and before I actually publish this video, I'll make a little short segment to go on the backside of this video that's essentially letting you guys know. I'll tell you what they said and the cost of it, because they'll tell me a cost. Now if we're 2 or 3 months out from spreading, I'm certain that the prices will change between now and then, because that's just how it is. Fertilizer changes with the fossil fuel market, because a lot of fertilizer is made from natural gas and oil and whatnot, especially nitrogen. That comes from that. So prices are going to fluctuate, you know, even week to week, day to day, they can fluctuate. But I can give you guys a pretty good estimate. And then once it's all said and done, I can actually do a tally and tell you exactly to the penny what I paid. And I can do that with all the rest of these projects. Every project that you have saw out here so far, which has not been a whole lot, I understand that, but every project we have done, I have kept all the receipts for. I know to the penny what it cost me, and if you guys are interested in that, I don't mind sharing that with you guys. So drop a comment below and let me know if that's something that you want. If so, then we'll start adding that in on the videos, or we can make a whole separate video that's dedicated to just going over the projects and what they cost. So anyway, that's about all I got for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and say this now, but then I'll patch in a little bit there at the end that tells you the cost of everything. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you would. If you didn't like the content, hit the thumbs down button and leave a comment and let me know what I need to do to fix it, what I need to do to make it better. This wind's got my eyes watering a little bit. It's a little chilly today. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So until next time, you guys take care, and we'll see you then. All right, everybody, so here's your picture of the different fields where we took the soil samples from. You can see field 1, 2, 3, and 4 in that, just as the results had. So I called the local company to see about getting fertilizer spread. They charge $7.50 per acre to spread, so that would be $225 for a spread fee for 30 acres. And for 85 pounds of DAP per acre over 30 acres, plus the $225 spread fee, the total comes out to $1,194. That's obviously a quote right now. Prices can change between now and whenever we actually get it done. So once it does happen, I'll let y'all know, and we'll get an update on the pasture, and I can tell you what the actual cost ended up being, and we'll go over it at that time. So thanks for watching, y'all. Take care.